it is bringing healing to my life. It is bringing awareness to others. So tonight's confession is about my sexless marriage. Okay, let's get into it. Hey, cousin, how are you? Welcome back to Closing Open Wounds with Cleisha, your cousin. It's a pleasure to meet you. If you've never seen me before, come on in. I just got off of work. It has been a long week. I don't know about y'all, but it's just been a long week. But while I was at work today, I said, you know what? I feel like talking to my cousin today. And we're going to go in with our couch confessions tonight. So, first, before I get started, first, I want to thank everyone that encourages me, that speaks life into me. You know who you are. I really appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. And it is just amazing when God puts people in your life to encourage you, to push you along your way, especially when you don't know what you're doing. It is nice to have those people in your life that can speak life to you and the vision that God has given you. So, thank you, my loves. I want to thank everyone that likes. I want to thank everyone that comments, all my cousins that subscribe and just, gives me good energy. I really appreciate you guys. I love you. I love you. I love you so much. So tonight I have a confession, and obviously it's going to be about one of my marriages. And I think I'm going to break this into two parts because I don't want things to be lengthy. If you check out my last video, it was my first episode of Couch Conversations, Couch Confessions, I should say, because we are having good conversations as well. And it was very good to me. I had a blast. I really didn't think that I would have such a good time talking to you guys about this. But so I don't even know where to start. But being in a sexless marriage was very traumatic for me. It is definitely not what I signed up for. And I don't think enough people talk about it and the awareness of it and the damage that it does. Let's start from the beginning. I entered into a courtship with a man who was older than me, and not much older than me, but older than me. I don't know, 6 or 8 years or so. And when we got together, we were intimate. And as the months went on, we wanted to honor God, and we really tried to make God the center of the marriage. Well, that was definitely my objective. But there were so many red flags. There were so many things that happened that should have turned me the other way. But here we are, and here we are, right? So we enter into this courtship, and excuse me, it was red flag after red flag after red flag. And I know a lot of what I'm telling you guys makes me look very foolish. And I'm okay with that. Like I always tell you guys, I have gone through it, so you don't have to. Yes, when I commit to someone, I commit to them, and I really try to see the thing through until there is nothing left, right? So I entered into this courtship with this gentleman, and we decided we were going to get married. There were a lot of red flags. Like I mentioned in my last video, you know, We found out like right before we were to get married that his divorce was never finalized. His previous divorce was never finalized. It caused me so much grief and so much pain. I don't know why I didn't just cancel everything and just been done with him, because I had enough reasons to not enter into that marriage, but I proceeded anyway. So right before we were scheduled to get married, he finds out that his divorce was not final. Whether I believe him or not, that's not the point. But at that time, I was so distraught. And that wedding, I planned everything. I did everything. I made everything. Like, I was the coordinator. I did everything. I bought everything for the most part. Not saying that he didn't have some input in it, but I was definitely running the show, right? So we proceed and we postpone the wedding and we let everybody know. And at this point, we were abstaining from intercourse, which was fine for me because we were honoring God. And I think we were together almost 2 years when we got married. And we had abstained for over a year being with each other. And it was very, very hard. But towards the end, it was okay. Like right before we got married, it was okay. We get married. There was a lot of things that happened, guys, and maybe I'll get into depths about it, but it's just too much to tell. So much happened. I mean, when I met him, I knew that he had one child. Halfway through, the marriage at that point, come to find out he had another child. There was a lot of child support. There were, incarcerations, bounty hunters at the house, almost being evicted. Like I said before, I was the most depressed at my highest weight and had suicide ideations. I went from having 2 kids to 3 kids to 4 kids. It was a lot. And I was in my early 30s. Definitely not the life your girl planned. Mind you, still serving in the house of the Lord, on the front line, on the front pew, and it was tough. So we get married, and what I contributed to is that, well, this is what I feel, and I was kind of bitter about this with the Lord, because I'm like, Lord, I honored you to the best of my ability. My marriage still didn't work. Just it was a lot. I'm like, I tried everything. Like, he really got away with murder. Out of the other husbands, he really got away with murder because it was my second marriage. And I was just like, I have to make this work. I have to make this work. I didn't want to go through with the embarrassment of the church. Like, they are the ones that scared me the most. Like, I was willing to stay in that sexless, lifeless marriage and miserable because I didn't want to face the pain of another divorce. Your girl went through it, y'all. Your girl went through it. I remember driving home from work and like, what if I just hit this embankment and just go over? Because I almost chose death over embarrassment. Now that I think about it, it was that bad. Um, the job that he had, he was rarely home. I was holding it down and my needs were not getting met. And I'm not just talking about sexual, emotional, physically. My love language is physical touch and quality time. Those needs were not getting met. As much as counseling that we had, going to the pastors, me talking to him, being open, honest, and transparent about what I needed to feel love. I even asked him, is it something that I'm doing wrong? What can I do? Now, you desperate when you're going to him, and you're mature, I should say, when you go to the person that you love and your spouse or whoever, and you're like, okay, I'm giving you what I need. Tell me what you need from me because I want to fix this. There was a few times before we actually got divorced, I was just like, are we done? Or are we going to start? What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we going to do? You know, because it was depressing to me. I was so stressed. I was short tempered with my children. I was miserable. And I got attention from other men, which pissed me off, might I add. I am getting attention everywhere else I go, whether it be work, whether it be at church, whether they knew I was married or not. Hell, some people don't even care if you're married. Okay. Getting attention and can see the spirits in men that wanted to devour me and going home to a roommate situation. It was the worst time of my life. Now, I am not saying that my ex-husband is a bad person, but I definitely was sold a dream. Okay, like there was a lot of lies going on. There was a lot of things going on, and I cried. I cried out to God. I had a prayer life. I had a prayer journal. There was a time where I wasn't working and I was in school to try to finish my counseling degree. Couldn't get that done. And, I remember being in prayer every Tuesday and crying out to the Lord, like, God, I'm dying. I feel like I'm literally dying. The days are blurry. I'm not happy. Now, I don't expect perfect love. I don't expect things to be just peaches and cream and then there's no hardship. I'm a ride or die. Well, at that time, I was a ride or die chick. Like, I'm going to ride this out with you, but you got to give me you. I asked him, I said, do you need to go to the doctor? Now, what I didn't know and what I know now, and I don't know if you know this or not, is that as women get older, our libido goes up. But as men get older, it goes down. So Lord, I don't even know why you did that, but me and you will talk later. Okay, because we was not, it was the worst. So I thought it was me. I really thought that I wasn't attractive. I felt, oh my God, I felt so unattractive, y'all. I was 240 pounds. I'm only 5'4", so you can imagine, I was miserable. I was miserable. So I remember going to the doctor. I had a procedure that I had to get done. And I'm in there, and the doctor, he's asking you all these questions, right? So I'm in there, and why this doctor? Jesus. This doctor gonna ask me, was I sexually active? When I tell y'all, as a married woman, I cried when he asked me that question. And I remember just sobbing because I was in a marriage and I hadn't had sex for like 8 months. It made me feel like I was a nympho. It made me feel like something was wrong with me because I never heard of anyone having a sexless marriage before. I didn't know what that was all about, and I really thought something was wrong with you. I thought like, well, maybe I act like a dude. Now, I did have a lot of masculine energy back then because I had a lot to do. I wasn't able to rest in my femininity. So I was kind of masculine. So I'm like, well, maybe I'm just like a man because when I have a hard day at work, I need you to I don't want to hear nothing. I ain't like all these other chicks. I mean, sometimes it's nice, wine and dine and all of that thing. But sometimes, after a hard day of work, do you understand? Am I alone? If it's just me, I'll take it. I don't care. I've accepted who I am. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't have no other vices. Okay? But I love me some relations. Okay? But I wanted to do it right. I wanted to be with my husband, right? So I was crying like a baby, y'all. And then the doctor told me about different things and, how to talk to my husband at that time. Maybe we needed to see, a doctor for him. What could we do? So I go, at some point I go, we talk. We try to come up with a freaking intimacy plan and all of that. Y'all, nothing worked. Nothing changed. And I was miserable. This is Couch Confessions, right? So the plot thickens. So we're going on and on and on. We're getting counseling from our pastors at the time. I'm trying to dress nice, trying to get his attention. Nothing. We are straight roommates, and I'm dying because I am a love bug. Rub me. Not to mention, y'all ain't gonna believe this. One of his jobs at the time, he was a masseuse. The whole marriage, I only got a massage twice. Now, I already know. Don't nobody want to do that all day and come home and do that. I mean, the plumber goes home to the leaky toilet. I get it. Okay, I'm not asking for much, but why do we invest in everything else but our relationships? Why do we do that? We go to school, we go to conferences, we take care of our vehicles, we invest, we go to the gym, we do all of this. And we don't invest in our relationships. And then we wonder why they fail. Child. A mess. It got so bad that I wound up having an affair. Yes. I cheated on my husband. And I beg to differ. It wasn't something that I wanted to do. It wasn't something that, I woke up, I'm going to cheat on him today. It was circumstantial. It happened. And I remember telling him. Now, when I told my cousin that I told him, she was like, girl, I would have took that to my grave. But I'm an honest person, right? And I wanted to fix my marriage. I wanted to tell him, like I've told him times before, that this is serious. My needs are not getting met. This is serious. I can't take this anymore. Not affectionate, there were moments, there was times, I'm not saying he was a monster, but no, a woman wants to be desired. You men, you don't know how bad you make a woman feel when you don't pursue her after you've pursued her. Just because you get her and she marries you or decides to be in a relationship with you, the pursuit is never over. Never. And the same thing goes for women too. Y'all not off the hook either. Because I done heard some women talking about, oh, not tonight, honey, and I don't feel good and this and that. I never denied my husband's. Never. What does the Bible say? Your body doesn't belong to you. Never have to fight, never had to beg. Because I believe in taking care of my husband in every way. So y'all women, y'all ain't off the hook either. You are supposed to take care of your spouse, no matter who you are, if you're the male or the female, take care of them. Or else somebody else will, and then you'll be mad crying. No, did you take care of him? I don't want to hear it. Did you take care of her? I don't want to hear it. So into him, I'll never forget it. It was on Mother's Day. And I said, so and so, we need to talk. And I told him what happened. He didn't fight. He didn't blow up or anything. At that time, I was just like, oh, wow. He was like, I understand. And he actually apologized to me. And he said that he knew that he hadn't been taking care of me and that, he wanted to do better and that we were going to stay married. Okay. Time and time goes on. We get some more hiccups. We still going to stay married. Remember, this was like a 6-year thing. And it got so bad. I said, God, I can't take this no more. I was praying. I said, God, I can't take it. The financial hardship, him not being there for me, all these kids, bills, child support, incarcerations, so much more stuff. Like I said, I'm not trying to put everything out there because I'm still trying to protect people. But your girl went through hell. And the crazy thing about it is a lot of people thought because maybe I was married before or just thinking that they know me and, oh, he's such a great guy. What? That I was the problem. Like I was the sole problem. Yes, I have issues, but not like that. I don't rip and run. I'm just a wife, whether I'm married or not. And I'm a mom, respectfully. There's just a certain type of way that I carry myself. So it got so bad. And I remember crying out on the floor. And I still have my prayer journal. It's upstairs. Crying out to the Lord. I said, I can't do this no more. And God said, I release you from it. And that was it. That's all I needed to hear. I got the green light. I'm out. Y'all not going to believe this. As soon as I told him it was over, of course, he got really upset and it was a slight little altercation or whatever. But he wound up leaving. He had been gone for about 2 weeks and his job had called me, maybe 2 weeks to a month. I don't remember. His job had called. You know, hey, so-and-so hasn't come to work today. I said, well, we're separated, so he don't live here. I don't know. Well, you know what? I've been wanting to tell you this. What's going on? The manager then told me that he was having an affair with the woman at his job for a long time and all this, I mean, like bugs under the rug. Like, are you serious? Because he had got locked up. That's why he didn't show up for work. Child support. Girl, you could have him. And I just start finding out stuff. And I said, thank you, Jesus. I didn't feel bad. This is my first time going on record telling my side of the story. They have their sides of the story. That's their side. I won't take nothing from them. But this is my side. Okay? It's mine. Right? Y'all, it was just a mess. I said, no wonder this nigga ain't with me because you over here with Snuffleupagus. And that's what she looked like. And it didn't matter, if I thought that I was more attractive than her. It don't matter because men gonna do what they do with who they want to do it with. Vice versa. Women too. Whatever. Because women cheat too. But I never been so relieved in my life. And I moved on. I packed up, found another place in another town, got a better job, and life just started going up and up and up. Now, that's that for this segment. I'm going to go to part 3 now because there was something else that was going on spiritually during my marriage that I want to talk about that a lot of people don't know about or not speaking about it, or we don't know what it is. No one in our families have talked about it or discussed it, but we'll leave this here. What I want to express to you is that it is imperative for you to meet the needs of your partner. I don't care who you are. There is no way you can be with someone and expect them to meet all of your needs, and you have not asked them not one time, what is it can I do for you? Can I take something off your plate? How do you interpret love? How? One of my husbands didn't have a problem giving me gifts. That's not my love language. It may be yours, but it's not mine. It's so you can give me Chanel bags and give me all of this, and we going out to eat and we doing all that. I'm not feeling the love. Why? Because I'm open and I'm honest and telling you what I need. Let me tell y'all, the older I get, I know who I am. I know what I want. So it's not like these men never knew what I want, but pride will keep you from loving someone that loves you. Pride has killed more relationships than cheating could ever. It's pride. It's pride. When you want to do the silent treatment, it's pride. There was a point where I was very prideful. This same husband who I'm talking about, y'all, I've grown so much since then. If we had an altercation, and even if he apologized, I wasn't talking to him for like 2 or 3 days, whatever. I was still cooking and cleaning and doing that, but I was not talking to you. I was very prideful. I hardly ever apologized back then. Your girl's not perfect. But as you know, when I realized like, oh my God, my marriage is in jeopardy, let me do all that I can do and start making the necessary changes to try to save this relationship, try to save this marriage. But that pride, that pride will get you every time. Okay? So if you have someone that loves you and they are begging you to love them in the way that they can interpret it, do that or you're going to lose them. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear no crying. Oh, he cheated. He do that. Well, what did you do? What didn't you do? There is someone waiting for your spouse. They are waiting for you to mess up so they can try to take your spot. There's a line. Hello? There's a line. And you have people that are willing to stay with you through thick and thin, willing to stay with you through the ups and downs. And how disrespectful are we to not take that into account, to not think that it's serious enough? If it is serious and if it's important to your spouse, it should be important to you. Don't get in these marriages and these covenant relationships if you're not prepared to do the work. Marriage is not easy. Relationships are not easy. There will be ups and downs. There will be times where you're mad at each other. But that's when you got to show the love. I don't want to hear, oh, I love you, I love you, I love you every time and everything is good. I used to tell my ex-husband, tell me you love me when you're mad at me. Then I'll believe it. Don't tell me you love me while we're making love. I mean, it's nice. But when you're upset with me, even after I apologize, do you love me then? Where's the love? And my thoughts. Let's take a break. We're going to go to part 3. Stay tuned.